the first couple of days of March, we really have a lot of time. And you know what? That scares me. I'm gonna tell you why that scares me, but we do have a lot of time. We have over 100 days. We have 66 days left in this year. We have the entire month of January and the entire month of February to get ourselves there. Now, let me tell you why I said it scares me a little bit when we have time. It's because, not because I don't want you to have time to get things together. Of course, I can't wait to see you guys there. It scares me because when we have a little bit of time, we fool ourselves into thinking we have a lot of time. Can someone relate? It's like when you said early in January that you were going to shed the 20 pounds, right? Now it's what, October, and they're still there. Come on, guys. I can't be the only one that lies to myself. And so what I know is that when we have a little bit of time, man, sometimes that can really be a deterrent to success because we fool ourselves into thinking that we have a lot of time. Okay. And we know that no days are promised to us. And what I want to do personally for myself is I want to set some goals for myself in the last 66 days of this year. And I want to really help a bunch of people level up. And so what we're going to talk about on this call tonight, Randy and I both talked about, the message we had. And even though he's on the other side of the world right now, literally, it's amazing that we had the same energy. And I said, man, babe, I just want to help people level up. Like too many people got their steam and then lost it. And we love you and you're human and that happens. And we know that after a great impulse is a little bit of a little bit of consolidation, and then we can all move into that continuation. But the problem is some of us have gotten lost in the consolidation. Some of us have gotten lost in that sideways movement. You can't run every day of the year. Come on now, we're only human. But we gotta be honest with ourselves. What can we do? What I really believe that every single person on this line has another run in them before this decade ends. Not just this year, this decade. This is the last 66 days of this decade. We're moving into a new decade. And I don't know about you, but me, I have to check myself constantly. Before I can coach anyone else, I have to coach myself. And what I know is that nobody will finesse me more than I'll finesse me. I will have all the reasons in the world why I don't expand my business, why I don't grow, why I don't get the things I said that I wanted. So I got to be extra careful as we come into the holidays, as we come into a season where a lot of people start to slow down. We have to be different. We have to be the 1%ers. We have to be the people that do what they said they wanted to do. So even though I may not know your goals specifically, what I believe is that if you're on this call, if you're watching this playback, there's something inside of you that says, I know that I can achieve residual income in this company. And guys, I've been blessed to be able to receive residual income several ways, through products, through rental properties, through other companies, even through businesses that have nothing to do with network marketing. But I have never had quicker access to residual income than in this platform. And then to know that the people that I'm introducing to this platform have the ability to trade and make money, even if they never share the concept, that really allows me to operate with conviction because I know that they're getting real value. I'm not just selling them something. If they apply themselves, they get to make money with us. Who gets to do that? Who gets to do that? Who can say my customers can make money? And for those of you who have been watching as we do Breakfast Club Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings, you've seen it with your own eyes. People are making money. That's been happening now consistently since the end of May. So now we're in October. The strategy has proven itself. Trading works. We know how to make money. We're making money as an organization. Now I want us to talk about the things that aren't so certain. And the things that aren't so certain is really figuring out what we want in terms of the residual income part of this. And tonight, I just need extra grace from you, and I want extra permission. I know that this is not something I usually ask for, but tonight I want extra permission from you, okay? Because in our flesh, we sometimes hear things, and our first reaction is offense. We take offense. Me too, guys. Me too. My first reaction sometimes is to take offense, but I've really come to realize that it's not that first reaction that matters so much. It's that second reaction, because that's the thoughtful reaction, right? That's the one that took some thoughts. And so even though we say some things that might be harsh, or at first they might seem harsh, what I want from you is I want permission to coach. We need permission to coach you. You didn't bring me on to be your friend. Okay, even though I love being your friend, you brought me on to help you elevate. And Randy's going to do that same thing tonight. And we just need a little permission because it's 66 days left in the decade. There's 66 days left in the decade. And if you're a part of this team, odds are that you probably, like many of us have said, I know that I deserve more out of this decade than what I've gotten. Okay? When it was 2009 going on 2010, I made promises to myself. I declared some things for myself. I claimed them. I spoke them into existence. And now it's 10 years later and those things have not come. But I don't want you to be discouraged because I believe that with the right mindset, I've seen this. I've seen people come into this game and in 60 days do what other people took 3 years to do. And they're not extraordinary and they don't have any special talents. Trust me, I know. I've just seen somebody make a decision and be able to compress time. And I know that there's somebody on the line that's going to be able to do more in the next 66 days than they've been able to do in the last 9.5 years. And those are the people that I want to talk to tonight. I just want to coach you. I'm not good at everything. I'm only good at a few things. And one of those things is earning residual income through a platform like this. And we just want to be able to talk to you real tonight. And we just have a feeling that our next chairman is on the line. Can we do that? Because with yes or no, we're going to do it. So I love you. So if you can't take the punch, if you can't take a little quick jab, then this may not be the call for you. I love you, but I love you too much to leave you how you are and think it's okay to go into the next decade like that. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is just giving us room tonight to really be your coach. You know, I was actually online last night with a woman that I kind of observe and I watched her social media presence and just some of the master classes she teaches. She is phenomenal, multiple seven-figure earner in what she does. And as she was talking, she said something. She said something to the point of, I'm not going to say the things you want me to say. I'm going to say the things that you need me to say. And immediately I connected with that because I know that my weakness is that sometimes it's hard for me to be brutally honest, okay? But I have to say thank you to all of you because you guys have really made it possible for us to love you and also be brutally honest and coach you. And I just want us to continue to extend that tonight. As we finish the last 66 days of this year, you've just got to get to a point where you're sick and tired. Like somebody is actually going to make a decision to carry poverty into the next decade. Oh, that's not okay. So what do you mean I made a decision to carry poverty? See, not making a decision is a decision. Not attracting change is saying, I've signed up for the same thing. I want the same. I don't want increase. I want the same. In order to get out of any situation, whether it's a change in spirit, a change in health, a change in finances, you've got to have a moment where you literally physically declare, I'm done. I need more. I demand it from myself. And here's the good thing about a demand that you place on yourself. You can measure it. Truly, you can measure it. And so what I want to encourage you guys to do is go ahead and get the pen and paper out. Go ahead and start taking notes. In fact, I have a feeling that the next chairman already has been taking notes. Go ahead and get pen and paper out because this business is super simple, guys. This business is super simple. Here's an idea I want you to really chew on. And I hope that this impacts you for the rest of your life. I had someone ask me, man, how do you guys stay motivated? How do you stay full of energy? You get on the phones and when someone speaks to you, they can feel that this is real, that this is going to happen for them. I'm sure people don't tell you no. I'm sure the confidence and the posture comes through. I'm sure people sign up when you ask them. Guys, just to let y'all know, people tell us no all the time. We just get more yeses than we get no's because we make it happen. But I had someone say, how do you stay in that abundant mindset? And it's crazy because I don't look at it the same way. Check this really quick. It's not about how do I create abundance. Because the truth is that abundance is already there. Abundance is the standard. What you're creating is the scarcity. Let me say that again. We ask ourselves, how do I create the abundance? I want the abundance. I need it. I don't have it in my life. How do I have it? The truth is that all that stuff is already there. That's the standard. That's what you're born into. What we do as human beings is we push that aside to bring in scarcity because that sometimes makes more sense to us and requires less from us. And so I just need you to believe right now, scarcity is a very temporary guest that we've allowed into our world. Abundance is the standard. You already have the energy you need. You have the posture you need. You probably already have the perfect wording that you need. How will you know if you never put it into words? And so I want to encourage you that what you already want from this business, it's already there. That's why I'm constantly talking. I'm always talking about ask for more. Whatever your goal is, double it, because I know you're not reaching for enough. Whatever your goal is, double it. I know you're not asking for more. If you're saying, you know what, my goal is to make $5,000 a month, I need you to double that. Seriously. My mentor told me, what's your first goal? I said, my first goal is $10 million. He goes, awesome. You need to shoot for 100 million. What? If you want 10 million, you need to shoot for 100 million. Why? Because that's just the way it works. Because when you're trying to lose 30 pounds, you need to try to lose 50. That's how you get to the 30. When you want to run 5 miles, you tell yourself you're going to run 10. That's how you run the 5. That's just how we operate. So tonight, whatever it is that you think you want in this business, I need you to double it. And then however much time you're giving yourself, I need you to cut it in half. Because you're capable of doing more in less time. You just haven't figured it out yet. I figured it out. I see wealth inside of you. I know what you're capable of. I just need you to put a bigger demand and to compress that time. And I will tell you, here David Emanite says this all the time. We got A, B, and C goals. We got A, B, and C goals. An A goal might be something like Platinum 600. Most of us, if our life depended on it, could figure out how to get to Platinum 600. That's 12 customers. Only 3 have to be directly from you. If I said you had to get to Platinum 600, or let's be dramatic, okay, for the purpose of drama, let's say you have to get to Platinum 600 in the next 15 days or your life's in danger. Let's say that was the scenario. Of course, we're making that up, but let's say that was it. I bet you most of you could do that. In fact, you know you can do that. That's what makes it an A goal. If my life depended on it, could I get 12 customers in 15 days? Absolutely. I know I could. I could figure it out, right? That's an A goal. But what if we said a B goal? A B goal is you have 30 days to get to Platinum 5,000. That's over 200 customers. It's a little more difficult, but I got 30 days. I think I know how to do that. I'm not sure. See, Platinum 600, I was pretty sure I could do that. This B goal, I'm not sure, but I bet you I could figure it out with the right intensity. I pretty much have an understanding of how it could happen. That's a B goal. A C goal is if I told you, you gotta hit Chairman 10 in the next 30 days, your life depends on it, that's 500 people, let's go. That's when most people will go, I have no idea where to start. I don't even know how to do that. That's a C goal. Here's a hint for the rest of your life, in this business, out this business, whether it's finances, spirit, marriage, relationship, it don't matter. Successful people live in the space of C goals. So here's why we need some extra grace from you tonight. Because we would not be good coaches if we did not know whether or not you were performing to your best, right? If a football coach is on the field and he's watching you run, he knows whether or not you're giving it your all. He knows how much more you have in you. Sometimes they know you have more in you than you feel like you got, right? When I go to the gym and I'm with a trainer and they say 2 more sets and I'm like, I don't got 2 more sets in me. And they say, yes, you do. Push it out. Let's go. Why? Because they've been here before. They know when someone is not performing to their full aptitude, to their full ability, right? So as a coach, we would not be good coaches if we could not see that from a mile away. And they're not running as fast as they can run. I know there's more in them, okay? And so the reason I asked for some grace tonight is because I think a lot of us are operating in A goals. And I think fewer of us are operating in B goals. And I want to dare say, I think very, very little of us, maybe a handful, I think less, are operating in C goals. And so we got to stop. And we got to remind you that there's wealth inside of you. And we got to remind you that this business is very simple and that you're not doing it on your own, and that no one in this organization will ever outwork us. I can't let it happen. I will sleep less hours. I will talk to more people. Randy will sleep less hours. He will talk to more people. I will always carry the weight. But I need you to have that same ownership over your business, because I promise you, you might be operating in an A goal right now. Some of you in a B goal, but very few of you are operating in that C goal level. And I just need you to know the only reason we would ask more from you is because we're sitting on the sideline, you're on the field, and I'm letting you know, hey, there's more in you. I see it. Come on, pick up those legs. Let's go. And so as we are coming towards the end of this year, 66 days away from a new decade, about 100 days away from our next international event that's going to absolutely set a new stage for I Am. I want to encourage you. Don't be offended. Don't take offense. Take notes. Don't take offense. Take notes. You're still on this call. That's good. That means that you've already taken the charge. Go ahead, coach me. And so I'm going to do something. I'm going to go ahead and pass this call on. Guys, if you aren't familiar with what we've been doing, man, we've been having a lot of fun. And this has put a really big demand on my family, but man, I love being in this space where there's a demand on me and my family. Can I say that? I feel very grateful to be in a business where there's a demand on me, my husband, my family, my children, even for this call. Everybody in this house know they need to be fed and in bed at a certain time, because mommy and daddy, we get to spend some time with our amazing success partners. And so in my house, this business is an absolute priority. My children are aware. My marriage, you guys see it. We're totally aware what we want. And I just want you to know that we've been having a lot of fun working with some amazing organizations. We just came out of Vancouver, Canada. They absolutely earned it. They absolutely earned that. And that was such a sacrifice for us to both be out of the home. But I loved being in that atmosphere. I loved pouring into that group. I really feel like I got more than I gave them, truth. And I love that team. Canada, you guys are such an example. The leadership there, beautiful leadership. See somebody on the line here. And we felt just honored to be there. And honestly, when I left that place, I felt more energized to pour into my business. I thought I was going to leave tired and exhausted, because I always say, whenever I go somewhere, I want to be the most tired, exhausted person when I leave. I want to know I gave them everything I had. But the truth is, guys, even when I attempted to do that, I left fulfilled. That lets me know that I was in the right market. And in Canada, my husband and I sat down, we started to look at this beautiful team. And we started to say, man, babe, I think somehow we've slipped and we've slid into the A goal mindset. We can't be like everyone else. You can't be like everyone else. We need to push ourselves back into that C goal type mindset. That's why you're here. You're here because there's a different demand that's placed on you. There's more possibility for you. And so we had a conversation, and what we wanted to do was we wanted to put a demand on ourselves. And what that means is sacrifice. And so there in Canada, we changed our booking, our trip. And I said, all right, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna hold it down. Where can you go that you have not been, to spark what's possible? And right now, Randy is in the Gold Coast of Australia with some amazing leaders that have emerged and that are ready to run and that are ready to go. And I will tell you, the greatest investment you'll ever make, since we are always talking about investments, the greatest investment you'll ever make that will have more return is investing in other people. Investing in other people will always have the greatest return, more than gold, more than silver, more than crypto, even more than Forex. I promise you, when you invest in people, you will always get more of a return back. Return in watching them grow, a return in being blessed to see their stories expand, to see them reach those C goals. And of course, in this type of market, in this type of business that we're in, a return in knowing that when I help people get what they want, that's how I get what I want. And so Randy is on the line, joining us from Australia. I literally have no idea what time it is over there. We have been having the most insane talk times between him trying to Zoom in the mornings and see the kids before school, me trying to, check in with him to set up calls and to set up these type of team events. It's been insane. But guys, I would really not want to have it any other way. I know that I'm ready to elevate. I know that a demand has been placed on our household, which is a good news for all of you. And so we're ready to run, and we're hungry. And when you're hungry, you sometimes your first thought is not, how do I say this as nicely as possible? All right. Some of us have been coddled way too long. That's why we're sitting at the same rank a year later. We're hungry. So when you're hungry, when you're eating and you're hungry, it's not really pretty. You feel me? This ain't our first date. I could lick my fingers around you, family. This ain't our first date. Okay, we're about a year in now, okay? Some of you at least. For those of you who just joined us, welcome. We're hungry, and it's okay. Maybe you need to be around some hungry people. So when we eat now, sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it's not pretty when lions have to do what they've got to do. But what we know is that if we do this the right way, everybody eats. And with that mindset and with that demand, I just want to let you know everybody's going to eat if they pay attention. So guys, I want to go ahead and give it to my business partner, really someone that I hope you hear me when I say this. I have the privilege of being married to, but I also have the privilege of being iron and iron, and we sharpen each other. Guys, the conversations are not pretty sometimes. One day, Randy, we're gonna have to record kind of how we talk about business and let the brave people hear that, because it's not pretty. We put a demand on each other, and we're gonna go ahead and share that demand with you guys. We're ready to run. We're ready to dominate this business. All of you on this line have everything in you to get to the next level. And with that mindset, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to, first of all, I like to say this and embarrass him, but better than your favorite trader, better than your favorite builder. If there's someone else out there in iMarkets Live who's a better trader and builder, please let me know. I will publicly apologize to them. But your favorite traders sneak on his sessions. Your favorite builders sneak in his inbox, okay? So better than your favorite trader, better than your favorite builders. If there's someone else, private message me, public message me, I don't care. I will apologize. But I know what I'm saying, and I want us to all really just pay attention, take some notes, and get ready, because this is about to be a different type of phone call. Randy said, babe, you know what? We need to do a phone call, and I need you to talk first. And I said, why is that? He goes, because I need to say what I need to say. And I've prayed about this. It's haunted me. It's woken me out my sleep. I've not said what I needed to say, and it's come right back to me. And so we know that I'd rather upset you than upset the creator who's put a message in me. And with that mindset, guys, we're ready to run. I really believe there's brand new people on the line that have no idea what's going on. They just got started. They're the next chairman. Welcome, chairman. Welcome to a chairman conversation. Mr. Randy Webb, I'm going to give it to you.
Yes. Woo! My business partner, my love, my wife, she always fires me up. That is my coach and my mentor. It's great that I get to live with her. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Legacy Worldwide? Man, it is an absolute blessing to be a part of this family, and I don't say that lightly. We are family. And when I say that, you got to understand when we're talking about family, there's a way that we're going to talk to each other, because we want to ensure that we all succeed, that we're all eating off of the same plate, that we're all eating like, if I have too much on my plate, I'm going to share it with my family as well too. And that's why we love what we do. We travel. We love to just put everything into our leaders, into our folks. And so if you have more and you want more for yourself, for your family, I promise you, we will be side by side with you. So here's the point of this call. And I do want some grace, because, hey, it might hurt some feelings, it might not, but I believe there is someone on this call, or maybe there might be a couple on this call that is going to fire you up, or is going to cause you to put a fire in your heart to say, yes, that's me. Yes, I want more. Yes, I haven't been doing enough. And yes, I am ready to run. I say that because I'm talking to me, folks. There's nothing that I'm going to say on this call that hasn't happened to me, right? Any the emotions that haven't happened to me, or the process that I haven't went through. Folks, I'm going to give you the real, raw, and the truth. And sometimes you'll hear it, it sounds cliche, but the truth hurts. You know, truth sometimes will cause you to lose friendships. The truth sometimes will cause you, if you're a coach, will cause the person that you're coaching or the mentee to despise you, because you're telling them the truth. But they were the ones in the first place to say, hey, I want your mentorship. Hey, I want to be coached. And here's what I learned. Sometimes the truth ain't easy. And I'll tell you, I'm grateful that I've learned early, okay? Understand that we're creatures of habit. And if we're in a certain habit, we're going to keep on doing it until someone comes along and breaks the cycle. They break the bad habit that we have. And we must first bring down the curtain. We must bring down the facade. We must bring down the ego so that we can accept it. And if we don't bring those things down, we can't grow. Okay? So I want to ask each and every person on this call, and I want you to interact. I want you to drop some stuff in the chat. I want your permission to coach you on this session, to say whatever it is I want to say and get out on this session. Whether you're on Facebook Live, whether you're going to hear the recording, whether you're on chairman1000.com right now, I want your permission. I want your permission to give you everything that I got so that you can elevate to the next level. See, here's what coaching is. Let's talk about what coaching is. About 2 years ago, and I remember I wanted to get into the best shape of my life. And I've been lifting weights. Most of you know I'm in the gym a lot. And let me talk about what ego can do to you. Ego can cause you to stay at a level and you don't even realize it. You're at a level of comfort because it's what you know. And so I had done fitness my whole life from the age of 18 until the time that I got my first coach until about 38, okay? And let me tell you, because I'm going to equate this of what's stopping you right now. See, ego will shut everything down. How do I know that? Because I had ego, right? And sometimes I have to check my ego at the door if I want to grow and I want to elevate, okay? And so I remember having this conversation. We were at our house. My wife has a friend, one of her girlfriends over, and we're at the kitchen table, and she's like, you know, my brother, he's like a fitness fanatic. This guy has coached this person, like he's a beast, he's this, he's that, you know, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm going from my perspective. See, understand it's a big deal. We're going to talk about perspective. We all come from a different perspective of how we see things. And so we're having that conversation at the kitchen table when she's telling me about how great her brother is and who he's coached and what he's done. And you know what the first thing I think in my head? I don't need coaching. I'm already fit. I know what I know already. I'm good, right? My ego has stopped me from elevating. See, but sometimes your partner, you know, as I say, my wife is my coach, my mentor, because she sees my blind spots. And this is where you have to let the ego down and allow other people to see your blind spots. And this is why I love coaching couples, because, you know, each couple, whether they know it or not, they tell it themselves, right? Because they see each other's blind spots. Well, my wife, she sees my blind spots. I have them. And at that day, my blind spot was my ego was up. I knew it all already. And when you know it all, it stops growth. You will never grow knowing it all. And so my wife goes, well, babe, why don't you just try it out? You've never done it before. Wonder if this can elevate you. Wonder if this can be your change. My wife at that time was the voice of reason. Understand what coaching is. My wife seen something I didn't see. She was the voice of reason for me. And that day I said, you know what? Let's have another conversation. And we met at a restaurant and we talked about this fitness journey. And you know what? I said, let's do it. And I paid the money. I paid a significant amount of money to get coached by this individual. And let me tell you, the money was worth it. The time was worth it. I got more fit than I ever got fit in my life. And mind you, I had already been working out for over 18 years. Listen to me, folks. If you're on this call, it might be you. You've been doing something for a long time and you think you got it set. You think your mindset's right. You think you got it. Do you realize the greats in the world, whether they be Olympic champions, the Michael Jordans, do you realize they still get coached? Because a coach is going to tell you the things that you don't want to hear. Well, because of that, you know, yeah, my fitness elevated. And here's what I knew from that point on. I was going to treat my whole life that way. I was going to get a coach in every section of my life that I wanted to elevate and grow. I would get a coach in. If I wanted to grow spiritually, I was going to get a coach, which I have now. If I wanted to grow relationship-wise, I was going to find someone who had a great relationship, who had something that we wanted, and we would mimic that relationship. I would do what they do. Okay? If you want to do good business, you want to elevate in network marketing, you want to elevate in traditional business, you want to elevate in real estate, you want to elevate in investments, you find the person who has what you want, and guess what? You can get the coaching from them. But here's the things that have to happen first. In order to be coached, you got to bring the ego down. So that's what this call is going to be about, folks. We are creatures of habits. And it's I was having a conversation this morning when I woke up, and let's talk about this. just in life in general, what we do, it's all about our mindset. Every place that we're at right now is because of what our mind brought us to, okay? You know, I served about 14 and a half, almost 15 years in the Air Force. And, you know, I got to see some of the greats, right, from your captains all the way up to your generals. I got to see special operations, right? Got to be around Navy SEALs, pararescues, you name it, some of the elite. And how did they get there? Do you realize they took themselves places that an average person couldn't go? They strengthened their mindset because they had a will to win. And so my goal today is to teach you, what is your will to win? What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? Unfortunately, most people unaware, see, that's all this is you are unaware of success, right? And when I say unaware, you unaware fight for your limitations, okay? I was talking to someone today, and they're saying, well, these people, they don't have the money here, they don't have the money there, they don't have the time here. Think about this. Let's talk about this mindset, okay? If you keep on saying that you don't have the money and you don't have the time, what do you think you're going to continually not have? You're never going to have the money and you're never going to have the time because you are consciously fighting for your limitations. You're constantly voice it, right? The power of the tongue is life or death, however you speak it. Okay? So if you keep saying, I don't have the time, right? I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the money. You'll never have none of it. You'll never increase. You'll stay right where you're at. And my wife said something significant that hit me coming on this call. She goes, we are coming up on a decade. Here's my question to you. Between 2010 to 2020, how has your life changed? What have you increased in? What have you completed? What goals? Because we had 10 New Years between 2010 to 2012. So every New Year resolution question, how many of them have you finished? 2010, you set a New Year's resolution. 2011, you set a New Year's resolution. 2012, you set another one. 2013, how many of them between the 10-year period have you accomplished? Between the 10 years of 2010 to 2020, this decade, have you got financially free? Or are you still working the same job? Are you still in the same place? Are you still at the same level? And this is at the moment that we have to examine ourselves. See, the only way that you can increase and level up is you have to first be conscious of where you're at. And most people don't want to acknowledge where they're at. They don't want to acknowledge that they're impoverished, that they're in poverty. They don't want to acknowledge that they're making way less than what the average individual is making. But here's what's worse. They don't want to acknowledge it because it's a mirror image of the efforts they actually put forward. Can we admit that? Can we admit we're in the place that we're at because of every decision that we've made in between 2010 until now? No matter what happened, no matter how it happened, no matter who did what to who, we're in our current situation financially, physically, emotionally because of decisions we made over the past 10 years. So how do we change it? We have to disrupt. We have to get coached. We have to bring the ego down. See, being among the greats, one thing I realized that people who are successful, they make a conscious decision that they're not going to quit. They're not going to fall back, that they're going to stay the course of whatever they said they were going to do. They're going to finish it. So being a man or a woman of your word means that if I say I'm going to do a thing, I'm going to do that thing regardless of how hard it hits, regardless of how far past the emotion at which I said I was going to do it went past. But we're creatures of habit. We like to feel good when we make a decision. We want the good feeling. Right? I'll hear people say, well, I don't know if I feel good about it. Okay. And really, sometimes that's just your uncomfort. Do you hear me? And when you get uncomfortable, when you go past that uncomfortable zone, that is your growth zone. But unfortunately, as soon as we get to that uncomfort zone, we fight for our limitations again. I love to tell stories. I'm out here in Australia. And let me tell you folks, being hardcore in the gym, I do not do yoga, okay? And, you know, people would always say, yoga's this, yoga's that, yoga's this. And okay. Well, I decided to go to hot yoga, okay? But it also taught me, you know, the person who got me there said, it's going to teach you something about yourself. And I did learn about myself at this yoga class, okay? It was an hour course, pretty intense, staying in some positions and stretching. I was sweating like crazy. But one thing that I said when I went into that room is I said, I will be the last one out of this room. I'm going to go through the entire session. It's my first session. See, what I believe is that if I could spend a day with you, whether I take you to the gym or I put you in a situation where we take a run, and where I want to put you in a situation is I want to push you past your limits, because past your limits is the point of growth. I want to push you past if we're in the gym, I'm going to make you do one more rep. If we're running on the track, I'm going to make you do one more lap after the point that you say, I'm done, I quit. I want you to do one more, because that's the point of growth. But that's the point of growth in your mind. We're creatures of habit. So I want you to analyze and examine your life over the past 10 years. Have you found that every time that you hit your limit, you said, I'm done? Or are you the person that says, no, I'm going to give it one more, and I'm going to go one more, and I'm going to go one more, and I'm going to go one more? Because if you are that person that says, I'm going to go one more, welcome. You already got the 1% mindset. It's a reason why you're about to elevate in this season that we're in. It's a reason why you're about to go to chairman, because you've made the decision, regardless of what's going to happen, regardless of what's against you, you're doing it. I can give you the ingredients all day long to what success is. You know, let's talk about abs. You know, I'm in a state right now trying to get fit again, okay? And I know what I'm supposed to do. I know if I told you today that if you want to get abs, I give you the exact things you're supposed to do. Listen, okay, if you want to get abs, here's exactly what you need to do every day. Go take a 15-minute run. Walk up a treadmill, 15 minutes. Get your heart rate up, get your cardio up. Cool. After that, I want you to go do 100 sit-ups. You don't got to do them in a row. Just do 125, 4 sets. You're done. And I want you to do that for the next 60 days. And if you do that, after your 60 days, along with a proper diet, I'll give you the exact things you're supposed to eat. And after 60 days, you'll have exactly the abs you want. I'll give you that, everything. Out of 10 people, do you realize probably maybe one will do it? Why? Right? We know the ingredients. We know exactly. We're adults. We know exactly what we're supposed to do. We risk a lot every single day by not doing the things we're supposed to do. We risk our life financially. We risk our life, our health, right? So we know that we're supposed to eat well. We know that we're supposed to save at least minimum what 50%, 10%, whatever you want to call it, right? We know the things we're supposed to do. Why don't we do them? Most of us, we are creatures of habit. We live a risky lifestyle and we don't know it. Most people say, I don't want to take risks. But every day we'll go to McDonald's. So we risk having a heart attack one day because we're not eating the right things. Say, I don't want to take a risk. But every day when our checks come in, we don't save anything. We don't put it in our bank account. We don't put it anywhere. We don't let our money move for us. So we risk having an empty bank account and living check to check. You say, I want a good retirement. I don't want to take a risk. I want to make sure I have security. But every day you check in at work and we don't know how long that company is going to be around. But you're putting all your hopes and dreams into a thing and you're not betting on yourself. See, we already have the ingredients to get it done. See, what I'm looking for today, I'm looking for the real ones. I'm not looking for those who put up a facade. I want the real ones. The real ones, here's what I mean. If you really want to get in this and grow your business, I want drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat here. Let me know for real. Don't drop chairman in here. You don't want chairman. Don't drop platinum 5,000. I want you to drop what is it that you really want out of life. Forget forget just this platform. I want you. What do you want? And then let me tell you what effort is required to get there. See, what I know, there's some people that are mad. There's people that are mad because I coached or mentored. Your coach is not going to tell you the things that you want to hear. Your coach, they're going to tell you what's required and what needs to be done. You know, when I went to the military, those boot camp instructors, they weren't light. They told me to do one more. When they said 50 push-ups, it was 50 push-ups. I don't care that your arms hurt. You know, I don't care that you feel like you can't give me one more. Give me one more. And you know what? It strengthened my mindset. When I was a pilot, same thing. When it was time to step up and give those emergency procedures, okay, and that we had to know them verbatim. It wasn't time to read off a paper. They made me stand at attention in front of the room and spout off emergency procedures. And I remember telling myself, this is so stupid, right? Why do you got to know this stuff verbatim? Why do I have to spout off the emergency procedures? Why do I got to know the -1? Why do I got to know all the stuff in red? Why? When I could just read the books. And what I didn't realize, they were preparing me just in case disaster hit. And you know what's crazy? I remember being in the aircraft by myself, T6, out in the area, flying a T6. It's a single pilot aircraft. Okay, I'm out doing ailerons and rolling, having fun. And I was pulling back, doing a loop. And I let up off the G's, okay? So G's, when you're pushing back on the yoke, right? Keeping G's on the aircraft, so you keep G's so that your oil and your system can stay in place, okay? I let off a little bit, okay? So I had a little bit negative G's over the top, which caused oil to shift, okay? I got an oil alert, and guess what kicked in? That coaching kicked in, right? I spotted off, boom, turn the aircraft over, leveled off. I just went, it was like clockwork. That's what our life is. See, your coach is there to save your life. See, not in the sense of mine, right? That aircraft could have went down. I could have crashed at anything. We're just talking about for your family. We're talking about financial freedom. I think it's your life. I think your kids deserve more, right? I think my kids deserve more. I think our kids deserve more, right? So isn't it worth us giving it everything that we got? Because today, what I'm seeing, and even for myself, right, I can say I can do way more. I'm not where I want to be. Am I putting in enough effort? I can do more. Are you putting in enough effort? No, you can do more. We can do more every single day. Every day. But we need that feel good once again. We need motivation, right? No, we don't need motivation. We need a reason why we are doing this. You got to find the hurt. So I want to just go into, you know me, I'm a how-to guy. And I want to go into some plans of action with you. And so take the pens out, take the pencils out, and let's talk about first examining yourself. Because before we can increase, we got to know where we're at. Most of us, like my wife, she said it, she was on point. We will massage ourselves. We will make it sound good. We will make every excuse in the book of why we didn't make it happen. Sounds good to yourself until you say it to your coach. And your coach is going to say, bullshit, bull crap. You can do more. You can be better. You can show more. You can build your business. No excuses. I don't care. See, what I know is no excuse in the world, no excuse is worth your life. We have a platform right now that if you go all in for real, I'm serious, folks, you go all in for real, over the next year, you'll make up for the 10 years that you didn't perform. Over the next year, you will change. And I say it like it's cliche, but you will change your family's last name forever. Listen, I was born and raised in Compton, California. I always say I come from humble beginnings. I remember being in the roach-infested places. I remember when we couldn't qualify to move in apartments because we had got evicted so many times. I remember that we just had to accept. Listen, we had to accept what we were given because there was no other option. I know what that feels like. And I drive so hard. I sacrifice away from my family because I know that we can have greater. I know that someone along the way we have to sacrifice. See, your results are the mirror image of the sacrifice you're willing to put in. And most people are not willing to sacrifice past their couch. Most people are not willing to sacrifice past their favorite TV show. Let me get my TV show in before I call a couple people to show them a video. Let me get my TV show in before I get on this trading session and look at some of these professional traders. Let me get and watch my favorite TV show instead of putting myself in an educational platform to learn this billion-dollar opportunity. Do you realize the money that we're around on a daily basis? Do we realize the people that we can change? And all we have to do is just work. So here's what I want to do. Call to action. I want you to examine your efforts, okay? These are the areas I want you to examine. How much effort are you putting in daily? So some of you will call me and you'll say, hey, man, my business is falling back. It's not going where it's supposed to go. It's doing this. You know what I'm going to ask you? How many people did you show this week? How many presentations did you do? How many folks did you show the deal to? How many people did you show the plan, run the play? You know what I get every single time? It's laughable. 1, 2, none. Do you really think your business will grow if you show no people? This is not a magical business. Success is not a magical business. It's not, this is a wake-up call. You know, somebody might quit from this. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. We say it all the time, and you know what I finally realized being in this industry? People are like, I hope this is not a scheme. I hope this is not one of those get-rich-quick schemes. And you know what I really realized? People are actually looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. That's what they want. What does a get-rich-quick scheme look like? Here's what it looks like. I tell you, you don't got to put in any effort. We're going to all get rich together. You don't got to do anything. As a matter of fact, you buy this little system right here, and it's going to recruit all the people for you. You don't got to touch a soul. You, my friend, want to get rich quick scheme. That ain't the world. And let's go and let's talk about where we're at. So I want you to examine your effort. Examine your heart, okay? Examine your desire. Examine your wants, and examine your ego. Those are the things that you need to examine. Listen, you examine those things right there and you get them in line with what you're asking for, and God is going to bring it to you. The universe is going to bring it to you. It has no choice. But a lot of us, we're imbalanced in a lot of these places. We're imbalanced in our efforts. We're saying, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $100,000 a year, but I'm not willing to put in the effort. I'm putting in a $5 an hour effort. That ain't this thing. As a matter of fact, you're going to work harder. You're going to work harder in the front end. For those who are first-time networkers, let me explain to you how it works. It looks like this. It's not fair. It doesn't look like it's fair, but it is, because it levels out. In the front end of this business, you're going to put in more effort than what you're going to get back. You have to give more than what you're going to give back in this industry. And it ain't going to look pretty. Sometimes it gets frustrating. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. And what I learned in the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, if you haven't read that book, read it. He says most people who became really successful, very rich, they got there after the point they were so overwhelmed. I can't tell you how many times that I'm going to be honest, cried as a grown man, because my want was so strong. It was a reset. And I'm so dang on stubborn, I won't quit. You got to be that way. You got to have it. You got to want it so bad that you just won't stop. You can't stop thinking about it all day long, that you're putting in the effort and the work. Chairman, it ain't going to come. It ain't going to just come to you by accident. That's not this deal. You got to work. You got to put in effort. You got to grind. Yes, at the beginning. But I used to always hear in my last company, they would always say, the flip is going to come. 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 What does that mean? Right? Are you willing to grind? If I told you, you got to grind this thing out. You got to work. You got to show 1,000 people over the next 2-3 years. And you may get paid, man. You may only get paid $1,000 a month. Over the next 3 years, you're going to put in all this work, and you may only get paid $1,000 a month. But if I told you your breakthrough, see, we're creatures of habit. We want guarantees. Life is no guarantee. We don't know the day that our time is going to be called. There ain't no guarantees, folks. But what is guaranteed is our effort. What is guaranteed is how much work we're willing to put in to go after our dreams. But wonder if I told you that your fourth year was the one. You're going to grind your butt off for 3 years, get paid minimal dollars, $1,000. But after that fourth year, you'll elevate to $100,000 a month, $250,000 a month, $500,000 a month. I say that because that's a lot of people's stories, right? That's the David Emenechie's, the Bryce Thompsons, right? The Jason Browns, right? Alex Morans. I can go on and on about the people in this company. They've been grinding their whole life. You know, Nafis Khan out of Canada. You know, Nelly. I can go. You know, and I'll mention the name. Please don't get upset with me. Don't mean to throw names. There's just names that are popping in my head, folks. So what I'm saying is, you're gonna grind sometimes. You may be in the industry for a while before you actually get what you want. But I believe that's what the test is. Do you really want it? Most people say they want it, but they don't want it. They won't be here long term. See, what I know, some people you'll be out of this business over the next year. Some of you, hopefully, if this was for you, this call either motivated you or this call said, this ain't for me. If it ain't for you, no big deal, cool. I want to identify that early. See, this season, I'm changing the game. I'm going back to what we're supposed to be doing. See, here's what I know. Air Force, Marines, Army, I watched great people, leadership come out of that. And one thing I realized with that their ingredients, that solution is they didn't baby people. No, it's far the opposite. They told you what it was and what you had to do. And so a lot of us, we're going to come from different places. We're going to have different perspectives, right? A kid from Compton, California is going to have a different perspective, okay, than someone who grew up in Sherman Oaks or in the suburbs of Hollywood. Okay? They're going to have different ways they come into it, but at the end of the day, they're just different perspectives. They're still going for the same thing. Here's what I knew coming up. It is what it is. I got to do what I got to do. So what that, I didn't have this. So what that I came from here? So what that my mom didn't make a lot of money? So what that I was the oldest 5 kids? So what we had to move place to place? So what? What's next? That's the question. Are you going to keep on going? Are you going to go past your limitations? See, those are our limitations. I don't want to hear my limitations, right? If I listen to my mind tell me my limitations, I would never have been a pilot. If I listened to any of my limitations, I wouldn't have a happy marriage right now. Limitations don't count. What counts is what you're willing to fight for. And unfortunately, most of us, we're not willing to fight. Let me be honest of the tempo, climate assessment in our organization. A lot of us has lost the fight. I'm going to say us. A lot of us have lost the fight. What I mean, lost the fight mentally, I've watched people check out. And I know that you're worth more. And this is me. I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you. Check back in. Because your kids are worth more. You are worth more. Your family's worth more. The next generation is worth more. Check back in mentally. Start calling someone that's going to speak life into you and not speak death. Call someone who is not going to be a yes man to you or a yes woman to you. You need real friends, real family that's going to tell you what it is. And once again, we got to examine ourselves. We got to look at the 5 things that we talked about. Examine our efforts, our heart, our desires, our wants, and our ego. Here's what coaching and mentoring is. I hear people use the term so loosely, okay? If you're a coach, okay, if it's telling you you're perfect, they're not coaching you. Because as we know, none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. My wife is not perfect. We're not perfect human beings at all. Listen, we make mistakes. Your coach is meant to put you in line. So if you want to have a successful business, let's really get this on. Let's make this happen. Let's be accountable to each other. Let's go build the empire that we said we wanted to build when we first started. Some of you have been rocking with us since 2018. Let's go. Some of you just joined us and you're like, let's go. Some of you just got back on board with us. You were Legacy Worldwide in the first place. Let's go. This is your time. Trust me. If we're in the wrong place, I would tell you with all my heart, with all my being, we are in the right vehicle. We're going to go through some ups and downs. I don't want someone who wants it easy. If you want it easy, this is not this call. This is not this team. This is not what we're doing. I don't want someone who's looking for quick. You can quit. I don't care if I fall all the way back to 0, 0, 0. I'll go build it again. We will go build it again. I need 3. We need 3. You need 3. Be selective on that. See, when the Air Force or the Navy or the Marines, when they're putting people into special operations, right? So you've heard of these special people called Navy SEALs, and just big shout out to all of our service members. If you're on here and you serve, shout out to you, because I know the sacrifice that you had to put in to be away from your family. I know the life and the things you had to go through. I know the things you had to see. I know the mindset that you had to have to maintain and to work through it. But let me tell you, let's talk about these special group of people, because it's not many. It's a small percentage, okay? The Navy SEALs, pararescues, Green Berets, reconnaissance. Do you realize they make up a very small percentage, not even barely 1% of the military? But they kick in some freaking doors a lot. They do a majority of the hard work and lifting when they infiltrate in. And I know what it took for them to get there. Small few, right? Whether we talk about, loving the 12, okay, right? You don't need everybody. A lot of us, we're so focused on trying to appease everybody that we forget to focus on our 12 or focus on our 3. What I want to challenge you today, if you say you're a leader and you're building an organization, I want you to focus on the 3. I want you to focus on your strong leaders. Because what happens is, it's easy because strong leaders, they don't reach out to you. They won't reach out to you because they're strong. They won't call you up because they're good. But that's why you need to call them. And I'm talking to myself right now. I need to make this call too. I'm talking to myself right now. Okay? Focus on those who deserve your time, not those who need it or are asking for it. Listen, I'm going to be 100 with you. If you haven't done nothing, but you're constantly asking, come on, let's check it at the door. Let's check it at the door. I come from a place where I don't like to ask for help. Me personally, I don't like to ask for help. And I'm not saying don't ask for help, but I'm saying work. See, one thing I understood growing up from where I come from is no one's going to give you a handout. This ain't that deal. There's different perspectives. Someone from here and someone from here, they got to work different. There's a thing there, I'm keeping it 100 on this call. Some of you don't have the privilege to be lazy. Listen again. Some of you don't have the privilege to be lazy. Whether I talk biblically, Proverbs, whatever. See, if you are lazy, it says that poverty will sneak up on you like a thief in the night. There are people that are in poverty right now. They're not there because someone put them there. They're there because their mind kept them there. Maybe they had circumstances that got them in a place in the situation, but their mind kept them there because they kept fighting for the limitations. And what I want you to do is, let's stop fighting for our limitations, start fighting for what we want. Let's change the language in our head. Let's all come together for real as a community. And let's coach one another, brother and sister, like we really are trying to become wealthy together. Like we really are trying to change the world. And to change the world together, we got to have grace. Okay? Listen, we got to love each other. I can't tell you, like, I get to go market to market. And one thing I will tell you, and you'll hear me keep going back to the military because those are the references that I have, but that's real world for me too. You will never be able to increase if you're divided. See, divided means if something gets smaller. If you are divided, if your mind is divided, it's called schizophrenia, right? But if your mind is divided, it will go nowhere. If you have a team and they're divided, it will go nowhere. If you have a brother or sister that you have friction with and you haven't got over it, you won't go anywhere. I'm going to keep 100 because this is what's going to allow us to elevate, right? We can go back in history. If you don't understand what history is, it will always repeat itself and you won't even know it. I can talk about the art of war. I can talk about why. So what is it that people do? If your opponent, right, wants to win you, what do? You hear things like, If for you, it may be cliche. For me, it's real life. Divide and conquer. What does that mean? Right? It can be applied to a lot of things in our life. It can be applied in your household. Okay. It can be applied to your mindset. It can be applied to your organization. Divide and conquer. If we are a team and I'm facing your team, how do I win your team? I'm going to win you mentally first. I'm going to divide you, right? Because if I know that you can't move in one direction, then you can't complete the mission. Right? When we're talking about our mission and what we're going to do or how we're going to fight, or you hear Army guys or special ops, the first thing they're doing is they're going to take out certain things. They're going to divide. And today, this is my challenge for you. It's time to come together. It's time for Legacy Worldwide to really do what we do. It's time for us to really go kick in those doors of financial freedom for families that really want this and need this. This is your time. So here's as we finish this, I want you to stop fighting for your limitations. One. Here's the next level. Stop fighting for your limitations. So I want you to first identify what your limitations are. What is the things that you say all the time that you can't do? That's a limitation. If you say, I don't have the money, that's a limitation. I want you to write it down right now. If you're always saying, I don't have the money, write it down. It's a limitation. I want you to change that. Don't ever say I don't have the money anymore. I want you to say, how can I get the money to go do the thing that I want to do? I don't have time. Write it down. If you're always saying, I want to do it, but I don't have time, write it down. It's a limitation. I don't want you to say it anymore. How can I go get more time? Or where can I save time at throughout my day so we can make this happen? Okay? Parents, I'm going to talk to you. Parents, I have my kids and I can't do this and I can't do that. How can I work this so my kids or this can be included together so that I can work this into my life because it's important? Listen, parents, I'm saying it because it's me, it's us, it's ours. This is what we do. It's a limitation. I want you to change your language, okay? I can't. If you say I can't something, it's a limitation. Write it down. And we're going to rewrite it so that you never say it again. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear none of your limitations. I don't want to hear none of your excuses because it doesn't matter. What matters is what you want out of life. That's all that matters. We're not looking left. We're not looking right. And when I say that, we're not looking at our limitations. We're not looking at our excuses. They don't count for what we want because what we want is what's going to deliver us to the promised land, where we need to get to in life. Which means, number 2, make a decision. Make a decision. Number 3, find your hurt. What is it that makes you want to drive? Do you have something that makes you get up every single day in the morning? I have a lot of people who tell me that they have a hurt here. I want to do this and I want to do that, but then there's no effort put into this business. There's no effort put into their life. There's no effort put into their health, right? I like to, let's equate to health. There are people walking around with close to almost having a heart attack, but they still do the same things. There are people walking around with empty bank accounts right now. Listen, if I have an empty bank account, I'm not sleeping 8 hours. I'm not even going to sleep 6. I'm sleeping 4. If you have an empty bank account, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, there is no reason why you should be waking up in the afternoon. There is no reason why you shouldn't be up before everybody else. Find your hurt and go to action. Number 4, remove the ego. The ego has to be removed, folks. I'm telling you, we all got ego. All of us. I still get ego. And I have to check it. This is where our accountability buddies come into play. Hey, was I right about that? Check your ego. And if your ego includes if you made the decision, if it was just then it's your ego. If you got bruised or hurt because someone told you the truth, that's your ego. Check it at the door. I promise you will elevate. You don't believe me? You don't think your ego is involved? I want you to go do an accountability. Over the past year, 2 years, have you elevated? If not, check your ego. That's what it is. How do I know that? That's me. Okay? I'm talking to me too. There's nothing I'm not saying on this call that does not apply to me and my wife. We've been there. Then lastly, listen to your coach and go to work. Listen to your coach and go to work. So whoever that coach is, call them. Make a call to them. Say, hey, I'm just checking in. Matter of fact, here's what I want to challenge you. If you're serious about this business, you can call me all day. I don't care. Let's start doing some check-ins. Right? It's hard. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be transparent on here. Okay. Sometimes we will avoid our coach. We will avoid our mentor. Why would you avoid your mentor or coach? Why would you do it? You know why we do it? Because we're not doing what we're supposed to do. You're only going to avoid your coach or your mentor because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's a check right there. How do I know that? Because it's me. I'm talking to me. Listen to your coach and go to work. Now is the time for us to win. Why? Where are we at in I Am Mastery Academy? Folks, we have one of the biggest events coming up in February 28th of 2020. I believe that's the start of the decade, the next decade. Listen to me. It's such a pivotal point in our life for our organization, all of us, for our family, for Legacy Worldwide. February 28th is the launch of the year. It's the second national event of I Am Mastery Academy. Okay, it's our first international event of I Am Mastery Academy. You guys are in the right place at the right time, in the right organization with the right compensation plan. Listen to that. It's not cliche. If you don't understand this compensation plan, folks, do you realize that our company today, I keep on hearing, and I'm going to say this one time and then leave it here. They say we get paid too much. I don't know how long it's going to last. All I know, I keep on hearing, they say we get paid too much, right? You go put 5,000 customers in the system. Do you realize that you get paid $100,000 a month? And after bonuses and everything, it's about $130,000 US dollars a month for 5,000 people. It's hard for me. I can't even think about walking away, quitting nothing because I know I had already did the work before. We put in over 35,000 with an organization that was hungry and ready to run. So I know we can do it again. I know it's going to happen. And I know we're going to deliver so many people this time around. And it's not even funny. There are going to be people that didn't even think it was possible they can make $25,000 a month or $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month. You can go from your mama's couch to making $100,000 a month. You can go from almost being on the brink of homelessness to making $100,000 a month. You can go from a bad situation to a good situation because why? It's a mindset. Let's remove the limitations and let's go. Everybody, you're already a chairman. It's already done. And I want you to claim it. It's yours. It's your time. I don't care where you are. Here's what I want from you. Own it. Today, take ownership. It's yours. If you want to be a chairman, let's start doing what chairmans do. You want to be a Platinum 5,000? Let's start doing Platinum 5,000. Do you want to be this top trader? Let's start doing what top traders do. This is your time. Let's go. And in everything that we do, let's continually leave our legacy. Let's go.